What's up, guys? So today we are filming an assumptions video. I'm currently in my mom's office because our house is getting repainted and it stinks and I didn't want to be there with the painter and blah 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 blah. This video was brought to you by Squarespace. I've talked to you guys about Squarespace before, but if you didn't watch that video, Squarespace is a all-in-one platform where you can build an online presence, you can build your store. There's so many cool things about Squarespace, but I'm gonna talk to you more about that later on in the video or towards the end. Let's get into what this video is about. So, I set myself up saying I'm gonna do a video about assumptions that you guys have. I knew I was setting myself up though. So I'm not even mad at some of the things y'all said, but some of them I'm like, is this really what you think about me? I'm a little offended, I can't lie. And other ones I'm like slightly offended, but then I'm like, okay, it's true. By the way, I just got my nails done by Miss Ryder. I don't know if you can see them. I'm trying to get it to focus on my nails. But, oh, there we go. All right, come on. Mom life. I took screenshots of some of the assumptions that I was getting repeatedly, like a lot. And those are the ones that I'm going to answer today. Now, y'all know I can talk, so I'm gonna try and answer them shortly. But some need a real explanation, like a genuine explanation. Some of them are just kind of funny, but I'm just gonna stop talking and like actually answer questions. So, you get ass shots. Now, I don't have ass shots, and I have nothing against anybody that does have them. Trust me, if I wasn't pregnant and didn't want to have any more kids, who knows, I might take a little fat from my tummy and put it in my butt. But at this moment, I don't have booty shots. But I'm not saying that I never would, just saying. But I think my mom might kill me if I ever did, but that's all. You work hard to make sure you have a great co-parenting relationship with Corey and Tay. Yes, I do. I think we all do, honestly. I can't take all of the credit. I would never take all of the credit for that. We all have to work hard at our relationship, our co-parenting relationship, and I'm sure for me, I know there's times where I'm like sucking up my pride, sucking my teeth, or like a little uncomfortable in some things. And I'm sure that goes for everybody in this situation, but it takes work. Co-parenting is not easy. I know that we make it look good and the fun pictures and the fun videos and stuff, but there's a lot behind the scenes that I feel like isn't shown and you guys don't see. And it's the hard part. It's the nitty gritty. It's the uncomfortable conversations. It's the behind the scenes action of it all. But it does take a lot of work. I would never take all the credit for it. We all put in the work for our relationship. Okay, next assumption. Co-parenting is easy and you always get along. That's not true at all. Co-parenting is far from easy. Co-parenting takes a lot of strength. Co-parenting takes a lot of swallowing pride. I would say it takes a lot of accommodating other people. And that can go from the simplest things. Like if it's a Sunday and Corey's supposed to have her till Monday and he needs me to come grab her. That's me accommodating him and his schedule, or vice versa, my schedule. Where that can be an argument with some people, where for us it's like, okay, let me stop what I'm doing and go help them out and get my kid. And it's not always easy. I feel like we make it look easy or make it look like we always get along, but that's not true. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I just think you guys should also know the other side of it, is that it does, like I said, it's another question, it does take time, it does take work, and it's not always easy. We don't always agree on things, but we don't let them turn into a huge fight. So I think that's what it is if Corey and I don't agree on something, we've we have figured out how both of us handle confrontation, and are able to talk about things. amongst us to come to a resolution. And even if we don't agree, we can agree to disagree. We don't let it blow into like this huge thing. I got this one a lot, and I feel like I should save it because there's so many questions that are around this same question, but I'm gonna get this out right now. The assumption is that I don't work. That is wrong. There's another one in here that goes a little bit, like, asks a little bit better, so I'm gonna wait to answer it in like length, but I do work. So okay, you grew up financially well off. All right, I got this one a lot. You're rich, you're rich, you're extra rich, you're wealthy, your parents are rich, you've had everything handed to you, you don't work. And I've been trying to figure out how to answer this question. I would say this: I'm very blessed. My family is very blessed. We have a very blessed life. I am rich in love. I'm rich in spirituality. I'm trying to answer it in like a like weird way. But honestly, I said I would be honest with doing this video. Honestly, as a kid, I don't think I realized everything that my parents really did for us, and the opportunities that we had, and the private schools that we went to, and all of those things. But what I can say is that my parents worked really, really hard so that my sister and I never had to want anything. We never felt the stress that they felt. But it's not like they're trust fund people and we're trust fund kids. That's not it. My parents have a business that they have together. They've had it for 22 years. It's a family business, and it took them forever to get it started, and it took them, you know, it takes them a lot of work to keep it going. As a kid, they put my sister and I in private schools, but they drove, we called them buckets. They didn't have nice cars, and when you go through the pickup line, I would always like be so embarrassed because I'm like, oh my god, is my dad's car gonna stop today in front of the line, or are we gonna make it through? And I'd always be like, get a new car and all this stuff, and my dad would say, we get from point A to B. And he didn't need a fancy car to do that, because then he'd have to pay this huge car note. The money that they would save from not having like the fancy cars, and from not having like the fancy clothes and stuff like that, we would go on trips. So he would kind of be like, do you want me to drive a BMW, or do you want to go to Europe this summer? And I'm like, as a kid I didn't understand, but now as an adult I completely understand. And my parents made traveling a #1 priority in our lives, so we have been all around the world since the age of like a baby. And I'm so blessed to have had that opportunity, where I would have picked my travels over my dad and my mom driving nice cars. But trust me, I had those embarrassing days where my dad's car held up the school line because it stopped, or you know, now they finally got nice cars, probably like right after I graduated college. But I come from a hard-working entrepreneurial family. That is what it is. We have had nothing just randomly handed to us. Everybody in our family works really, really hard for the things that they have. You were always high maintenance since you were young. Yes, I've always been high maintenance. I've always liked to have my hair done. I like to have my nails done. I like cute clothes. I like to be, I don't know, it makes me feel good. That was always like my thing. So I've always been high maintenance. I don't see that changing anytime soon. So yeah. I assume that you were scared to join Teen Mom OG. I don't know if scared is the word, but yeah, maybe scared is the word. I was really nervous. I didn't understand completely what I was signing up for, to be honest. Actually, I didn't understand at all what I was signing up for. I didn't know enough about it to have been completely prepared. I was nervous I was nervous that on past shows that I've been on, like The Challenge or Are You the One, it's just me, you know, so you guys can just judge me. With Teen Mom, it's like opening up my whole life. So now you judge my sister, you judge my child, you judge my parents, you judge our relationship, you judge our family relationship. There's so many, like, I opened up a lot of doors for a lot of commentary, and I don't know if everyone was ready for it. So I would say I was scared, I was nervous, I was anxious. I was kind of like going back and forth whether if this was something I should do, but I always stuck to that. I thought it was a beautiful opportunity to, number one, raise awareness for metabolic conditions, and I thought it was a good opportunity for people to see a family of color that works hard, that gets along, that isn't like the stereotypical, you know, black family on reality TV, honestly. So we thought it was a beautiful opportunity to show the love that we have in our house. Once again, that you were wealthy before the show. I feel like I've addressed that in the other question, but I would say that I wasn't hurting before the show. I hate when I see comments when I do like parties or something and it's like, oh, Teen Mom paid for this. I'm like, this would have been paid for with or without Teen Mom, just saying. But I would never say that because it's like, who really cares? But sometimes I want to say things and I'm like, okay, don't even comment, don't even argue back, because who cares? You didn't pay for it, so like, why should it matter who paid for it? You were trying for baby number 2. I got this one a lot, and people would say like, you got pregnant on purpose, or you were trying. And I didn't really understand like if purpose was like throwing shade or not, so I picked to answer this one. But baby Davis is definitely planned, or was planned, so it was not a surprise to pretty much anyone. It was definitely not a surprise to Zach and I. So yes, we were trying for baby number 2. Oh, this question I keep getting, and we need to cut it out right now. You want a lot of kids. I had someone else say you want 5 kids. No. I have a daughter and now I'm having a son. I have a boy and a girl. I feel like it's the best of both worlds. I am so good with cutting it off right now. He can tie it up or whatever they call it when they get their and I'm good. I don't want any more. I say that now, but don't, if it happens again, don't shoot me. But I'm really good with my little team I have right now. I got this one and I'm not sure how to answer it. Their assumption is that I am a hoe. Now, let's just be real for a second. I feel like everybody goes through a hoe phase. I will say that. Now, I'm not saying that I had a hoe phase. I don't know what you would consider a hoe phase versus what I would consider a hoe phase. Now, I didn't lose my virginity until I was like 18. And I was in college at 17. And I would say there was a period of time where I had a hoe phase. It wasn't like a real hoe phase where it's like, oh, you sleep with everybody in the world, or like you sleep with like multiple people in like a week, or whatever you consider hoe phase. But my hoe phase was like, oh my God, I had sex with someone that wasn't my boyfriend. Like, that was my version of a hoe phase. I think that everybody goes through some version of a hoe phase in their life, but it's all dependent on like what you consider to be a hoe. I also don't like the word hoe, and I also feel like there's a lot of double standards when it comes to like a hoe and your hoe phase, whether you're a girl or a boy, which I think is bullshit, but we're not even gonna get into that. But if someone asks me if I'm a hoe, I'm gonna say no, I'm not a hoe. Okay, thank you. You are extremely comfortable with your new blended family because of your own. Yes. And extremely comfortable is the kind of scary to say, but comfortable, yes. I have a blended family. My parents separated when I was a senior in high school. My mom quickly remarried. My dad not as fast, but this As far as my parents and their new marriages, not new, but them getting remarried, I learned a lot from them and their trials and tribulations, and I feel the benefit of when we are all together and when we do things as a family. I feel it as their child, so I can only imagine what Ryder feels when we do things together. And she genuinely exudes happiness and gets excited, and there's nothing better than that, like for me as a parent, when we're all together and I can just see how juiced Rye is, that she has like her squad, her people surrounding her and supporting her and whatever it is. So coming from a blended family has definitely helped me to be comfortable in the blending of my own family, if that made sense. You grew up wealthy / haven't worked outside of TV shows. Not true again. So let's talk about my resume, my work resume. My parents have had me working in some form of fashion since I could walk or talk, basically, or before that. When I say that, I was doing print work and commercials as a kid, as a baby, all through high school. So I would have to leave school early for auditions. I would do gigs, and I would have to make, like, you know, grown-up decisions where I couldn't go to the birthday party because I had a shoot. Or I remember, and this was really like the turning point, where I was like, I don't want to model or like do this stuff. And my parents put a lot of effort and time into me wanting to act and model, and this was as like when I was kind of like middle school, high school. I did like NYFA, which is New York Film Academy. I had acting coaches. I went to acting schools. They put a lot of energy into that. And there was one time where I booked a Abercrombie & Fitch shoot, and I was juiced, like juiced, because at the time I was like a 00. I weighed basically nothing, and that's all I wore. And I thought it was so cool that I was gonna shoot this campaign for a company that I actually liked their stuff, I actually shot for. And the shoot was in like Hawaii or something. It was just so like, you know, the ultimate dream or whatever. But the dates overlapped a cheer competition, and my heart was just broken, because now I'm supposed to be in 2 places at one time, and they're both big commitments, and I couldn't betray my squad, but I also couldn't betray my agency and not do this campaign. And those are contracts, and those are much bigger than, you know, what I thought back then. I don't remember what actually happened, but I know I did the shoot. My mom was not playing. But that I learned my work ethic at a very young age. Also, I grew up in an entrepreneurial family, so my parents have had their first business for the past 22 years. We don't really talk about their business on the show or anything like that, just because this is for safety, and it's very corporate, and we keep that separate. But I've worked in their offices since I was able to staple something or file a paper or whatever. And I would say I worked there for, I mean, I still help them do things to this day. So I worked there. I also had a job at Chuck E. Cheese in high school. I worked at Chuck E. Cheese for a while. And then once I got to college, my parents really wanted me to just focus on school and not work. They later found out that I was actually working like 3 jobs behind their back. I worked at a tattoo shop as their front desk person, and I also worked in the clubs as a bottle service girl, and then I worked at a restaurant as a waitress. I've always liked having my own money and not having to like call my mom or something, or call my dad for money. So that's why I worked so many jobs in college. And it felt good for me personally. When I got out of college, I came home. I worked at another one of my parents' offices. A few of you, and this is when I started doing the shows, and this one I can kind of talk about. This is at the convention center in LA, and there's like different conventions, so like anime or like E3 or Black College Expo, you know, these huge conventions, and I'm working the front desk at the business service center, and people would come in. This was like right in between me doing Are You the One and doing the challenge and stuff, and they'd be like, are you that girl on that show? And I'm sitting in like my collared little polo shirt with the little family business logo, and I'm like, oh my god, like you are watching me do the lamest office job ever. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, why do you work here? And I'm like, it's my family business. Like, it was just weird. So I worked there for a while. When I started doing Teen Mom, it just took a lot of my time, a lot more time than what I thought. But I always wanted to still do something and adjacent to that. That's when I started the nonprofit for Ryder. That takes up a ton of time because I am basically all of it. So I do all the admin work, all the shipping, all the websites, everything that happens with the nonprofit. I'm doing it with like the help of my mom and my sister. So I do that now. On top of that, I still help with the family businesses, and on top of that, I hate that people think that social media is like not a working thing, but you can make a living off social media. I do that. I do YouTube, and of course I film. So I do a lot of things. I'm not just at home all the time. I am home all the time, but I'm working from home all the time. So but stop thinking that I'm a bum, y'all. And you don't wear a lot of makeup. I don't have makeup on right now. I actually have this on, and I just went and got my bag because I thought my lips looked crusty. I was never really big into makeup. In 8th grade, I had a makeup phase, and I did like the eyeliner, and I learned how to do like the little wing thing. And I went to school one day, and this boy, and I was so proud that I had figured it out finally. I guess I did a really shitty job, but this boy was like, ew, you look like a cat, and you have a mustache. And I was like, oh fuck. I was so sad that he talked about my mustache because it was like whiskers. It wasn't that long, but he made it like seem like I was a cat because I had whiskers and because of my eyeliner. And after that, I was like, you know what, makeup's just not for me. I went and like convinced my parents to let me get my upper lip waxed, and I was like, I'm just gonna be a natural girl. I like wearing makeup for, you know, fun events or shoots and stuff like that, but I'm not like I wish I can show you guys my makeup bag. It's basically like lip gloss and like stuff from like the past 4 years. Some of it's like open, like it does not, it's not, I'm not, no, I don't really like makeup. No, I'm not good at it. Maybe someone teaches me how to put it on. Assumption about me that my life is perfect. I don't think anyone's life is perfect. My life is not perfect, okay? I would say that Instagram is like your highlight reel, and you show all of like your perfect moments, like your pretty pictures and your pretty moments and your funny moments and stuff. But no one's life is perfect. My life is not perfect. I have good days, I have bad days. I have days where I cry and I don't even know I'm crying. I have days where I'm happy and then I'm like, wait, should I be happy today? So no, life is not perfect. Some fans assume that you are rude to them when they wanted a picture with you. Is that true? I really thought about this question because I'm like thinking like, was I rude to you? Like the person who asked me this. And I'm still gonna say no. I can recall one time out of the past 5 years that I've ever told somebody no. And tell me if I'm right or wrong for this one. But this happened after the last time Ryder was in the hospital, and she was there like in and out for like 6 days. Mind you, I had on the same funky clothes that I went in there with, and we finally got to go home. So all our stuff is in like a wheelchair, and I'm holding Ryan in this wheelchair. My mom goes to get the car, and we're down in like the garage, and there's people around, but I'm not thinking about anybody. No, in my head, nobody's thinking about me, you know. And Ryder's still like bandaged up. She's still not 100% better, but like enough where we can go home and get her back to health at home. And this girl comes up to me, and I haven't slept in like a week. Like when your kid's in the hospital, trust me, you don't sleep. She comes up to me and she's like, oh my God, can we please get a picture? And I'm like, I swear it took me a second to look around and be like, Okay, I'm sitting in a wheelchair, covered, like, and it's covered in all our bags and stuff. My kid is bandaged up, like I'm hiding her, not from people, but from, I don't know, whatever. I look like shit. My face is swollen from like crying so much. We're in a hospital, and I'm just thinking, no. Like, no. And I knew I just had to take a second and just breathe and not like react how I would have wanted to, because whatever. And I said, I promise you, if we were any other day, any other place, I would have no problem taking a picture with you. But today is just not it. Like, my kid just got out of the hospital. We're still at the hospital, okay? And she looked at me and she was like, you are so rude. I'm going to get my family. And I'm like, your family? What is that gonna do? So the lady who worked at the hospital, who pushed the wheelchair down, was like, who are you? Like, I'm calling security to ask me who I am. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So I'm like, I don't know, I'm Cheyenne. And then I had to explain, like, I'm on shows, and you know, some people don't understand that I do have a real life, and this is my real life, and this was not the time and place to want to take a picture. So she calls security. This girl goes and gets her like whole family who's down there, and is like screaming at me that I'm a terrible person for not wanting to take a picture with them. And the mom is like, my daughter loves you and all this stuff. And I'm like, I promise you, if it was literally the next day, like, I just want to shower first. Like, my kid is sick. I'm holding, like, what angle did you want to take the picture at? Are you gonna bend down next to the wheelchair? It was just way too much for me. Luckily, my mom pulled up, and I was in such a tired mindset that I didn't have any fight in me, and I was just like ignoring them. Like, there was no fight in me. And every time I look back, I'm so mad. I'm like, I should have threw the wheelchair at him or something, but no. But that was the one time I can say that I was rude, and I don't even think that was me being rude. That was me being a tired mother, okay? Other than that, anytime anyone's ever asked me for a picture, I've always taken it. Even in the beginning, when I'm like, why do you want a picture with me? Like, and I would say I told someone else no when they asked for a picture of Ryder, and she tried to like kiss her. It was weird. So you can assume what you want. I thought this one was hilarious. You wear actual pajamas to bed, not just an old t-shirt. You are so wrong. I don't own pajamas. Actually, I own like 2 pair that the company sent me, and they were kind of small. So no, I don't really own pajamas. I am a big t-shirt, old t-shirt. Hopefully there's a t-shirt on in the bed. I'm not that coordinated to put on actual pajamas. You are gonna have a huge wedding. Yes, come on guys, if you know me, I can't do things that are small. Yes, I'm gonna have a big wedding. My parents had 600 people at their wedding. They have 2 big LA families. When Zach and I get married, it is once again 2 big LA families. Do we want 600 people? Hell no. But it's gonna be big. It has to be big. It's like against my soul if it's not big. You are shy. You seem really soft-spoken and reserved. I would say it depends on the day. There's some days where I am really, really shy, like in certain situations. And there's other days where I can it's like, oh, she turned on today. That's what my family says. But like, if we go to a party and I'm kind of like, let me find my good seat on the couch and like watch the room, more of a person, rather than like the girl like standing on the table. But I'm a lot more shy than what people would assume, because you naturally assume that I'm not shy because I'm on TV. But when you get to know me, then it's like, oh, you just want to stay home? Like, you're way more reserved than what we thought. You have fake boobs. I do. I just got them. I got them like last February because I nursed Ryder until she was about 19 months, and my tits were sad and I wanted new ones, so I got them. They were very sad. They were sad boobs. you grew up in a loving family. I grew up in an amazing loving family, so I like that assumption because it's absolutely correct. You and your family secretly hate Taylor since she had a baby with Corey. This is so wrong. I would honestly say that since she had Mila, it made us closer. I don't know if that sounds weird, but even like for our families, like her having Mila made like us closer to her and closer to each other, because now you understand things a little bit differently as moms. As moms, it's like, okay, I understand why you're on this level of like passion when it comes for your kid, and until you're a mom, you're not gonna get that. Like, you can always assume, but you're not gonna feel that same spunk. And now that Taylor's a mom, I would say that we are able to see things on like a different level of being on eye to eye. Same even for like her and my mom, like they have some like newfound relationship of like mothers and, you know, understanding each other, and same thing for us. So to assume that we hate her because she had a baby is completely wrong. There is no hate between us. I hate that people assume that I hate her. Now, has our relationship been all flowers and sparkles and stuff? No, of course not, but whose is? But there's no hate. I love Taylor for the amount of energy and time and love that she gives Ryder, and how comfortable Ryder is with her only shows that, you know, when she comes back from her dad's house, she talks about Taylor, and I love that. I'm like, my kid is so happy, you know, over there, where it'd be completely different if she like dreaded going over there or came back and said Taylor was mean and stuff, and she's like, you know, full blown on Taylor's team. How can I not be on Taylor's team? So let's stop all of the assumptions that we hate her or that our family hates her. That is not true. Oh, I like this one. You're very level-headed and family-oriented. Great assumption. You are correct. Just kidding. I mean, yeah, I am, but I feel like that was like a little unhumble. You're actually very happy that Ryder has a little sister. I am so happy that Ryder has a little sister. I think I view it like that because I love the relationship that I have with my sister, and the fact that Ryder is gonna have that opportunity with her sister, it makes me feel good. They're gonna be so close in age, and their relationship is a huge priority to all of us. And just knowing that she's gonna have that bond, it makes me happy. Because when, you know, when we're all gone, like family for Rye, you know, I want her to have her siblings. I want her to have her people. So yeah, I'm very happy that she has a sister, and that she's like a built-in best friend. Like, you don't have a choice. That's kind of how like my parents made it for my sister and I. We had no choice. We were gonna, you have to be friends. Now, if I did not answer all of you guys' assumptions or answer your specific assumption, then comment below. I can always do a part 2. I don't ever know if you guys like these videos where it's just me sitting and talking to a camera. I get a little awkward, get a little anxious when I do them, but if you like them, then I can, of course, come back and do a part 2 of assumptions. If you want to know, you know, other things, or if I didn't really cover it well enough, you guys feel free to tell me. I love feedback, positive or negative. As promised, I said I would talk to you guys more about Squarespace. So like I said, Squarespace is this all-in-one platform where you can build your store, you can sell things. And what I really found that I like about Squarespace is the back side of it. Like, all of the analytics that comes with Squarespace are super helpful for like someone like me, where I'm checking the back side of it and the analytics to see like when is content doing the best, when is selling certain things doing the best, who's buying them, where they're from, and you can check all of those analytics when you have Squarespace. I have a Squarespace account on that I have, and I genuinely like using it. I definitely think that it's an easy platform for you guys to figure out to use. If you have any type of online platform or business, I would highly suggest to use Squarespace. They have tons of tools and tons of benefits on there. I mean, along with their analytics, it's just a really easy platform to use. So in the description below, I'm gonna put a link, and you guys can have a discount off of your first Squarespace experience, and let me know how it goes. And if you have questions about it, let me know also, because I can help you guys out. I hope you enjoyed this video today about the many assumptions about me, and if you did, give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I feel like we're finally growing our channel, guys. If you've been here from day one, you know that YouTube has been a struggle for me, but can someone tell me I'm getting better? Like, I really feel like I'm getting better. Talk soon.